Nunatsiavut, our beautiful land, is an area of land and coastal waters in northern Labrador, about the size of Nova Scotia. After 25 years of research, negotiation, dedication, and hard work, in 2005, Nunatsiavut became the first of the Inuit regions in Canada to achieve self-government. The Labrador Inuit entered into a Land Claims Agreement, or LILCA, with the Government of Canada and the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador to formally share knowledge and resources, a process known as CoManagement. For fisheries, plants, and wildlife, the Labrador Inuit Land Claims Agreement establishes 2 CoManagement Boards. These boards make decisions and recommendations to help take care of Nunatsiavut's resources, now and for future generations. Both boards are made up of appointees named by the Nunatsiavut government, the Government of Canada, and the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador. The appointees pick an independent chairperson to lead their discussions. The Torngat Joint Fisheries Board, or the Fisheries Board, makes recommendations on the conservation and management of fisheries. This includes recommending quotas or changes to fishing seasons or areas. To ensure these recommendations are informed and relevant, the Fisheries Board leads research to build shared understandings of the ocean, both the species within it and the people who make their livelihood from it. A good example of this process comes from the snow crab fishery. Snow crab has emerged as a valuable source of food and employment in Nunatsiavut. The Fisheries Board relies on fish harvesters' knowledge to learn firsthand about the health of our snow crab resource. Important signs that indicate increase or decline in the snow crab population are noticed on the water first. Information like numbers of young crab, the condition of their bodies, and how difficult or easy the fishing is from year to year all help the Fisheries Board understand the changing aspects of the fishery. The harvesters also take part in the Fishery Board's tagging program to estimate how many crabs there are and if they are migrating. To help get a more precise idea of the condition of the snow crab fisheries, the Fisheries Board conducts snow crab surveys each year, the results of which give an idea of the total amount of crab on our grounds. In late fall, the Fisheries Board brings the people who participate in the fishery together with scientists, managers, and government at the annual Nunatsiavut Fisheries Workshop. Participants are invited to share information they gathered over the season. Many of the important decisions for the fishery will come out of the discussions here and will form the recommendations made by the Fisheries Board to the Minister of Fisheries and Oceans. The Torngat Wildlife and Plants Co-Management Board, or Wildlife Management Board, makes decisions on harvest levels for animals, like polar bear and moose, and makes recommendations to the Minister of Environment and Climate Change on harvest levels for caribou and migratory birds. For polar bear, the Wildlife Management Board has been working with people across Nunatsiavut, people who know the polar bear best, to better understand their behavior, their health, and their diet. This traditional knowledge guides the planning of aerial surveys, and together they build toward a clearer vision of the big picture. People of Nunatsiavut have had a special relationship with caribou for thousands of years. Hunting and sharing continues to bring families together in Nunatsiavut by connecting elders and youth. Caribou connect us to our culture, our communities, and our ancestors. The board recognizes these values, and therefore, caribou are a priority for the Torngat Wildlife and Plants Co-Management Board. How many are there? Where do they go? How have these things changed through time? Why? The board is working to find answers through discussion with traditional knowledge holders and through scientific research like the aerial survey and the traditional knowledge study of the Torngat Mountains caribou herd. All of the research and consultation that the boards lead are used to make decisions about conservation, use, and management of Nunatsiavut's natural resources. The Wildlife Board increased the polar bear quota from 6 to 12, established a moose hunt in Nunatsiavut, and has recommended conservation tools for George River caribou. The Fisheries Board used the recommendation process to increase Nunatsiavut's share of the shrimp quota assisted the Nunatsiavut government in acquiring an important inshore turbot quota, and recommended safeguards to take care of the snow crab fishery. Managing wildlife and fisheries is not just a matter of knowing how many polar bears there are or how many fish. Managing these resources is a matter of making choices. How many polar bear would you like there to be? How many fish? How many can a healthy ecosystem support? How many can be harvested sustainably? The Torngat Wildlife and Plants Co-Management Board and the Torngat Joint Fisheries Board are working to answer these important questions, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need your help. If you have a research question, let's try to answer it. If you have information about wildlife and fisheries, let's build new understandings. If you have ideas about how resources should be managed, let's develop a plan. Co-management is about teamwork, so let's work together to manage and preserve our beautiful land.